Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to crochet this crop top sweater, and as you guys can see here, it's very simple to do, so it's very beginner type of project. So hopefully if you're a beginner, this is going to be something that you can try. So without wasting too much time, let's go ahead and get started. Okay my lovelies, so before we get the project started, I'm going to show you guys all the materials that I'm using for it. And as you guys can see, I have my yarn here. This yarn is by Craft Smart Value Strip. I use this for a shawl, so there's a shawl in my video catalog of this yarn that I use for that shawl, triangle shawl. It is 100% acrylic. It's a medium weight number 4, and recommended hook size is 5.5 millimeter hook or I9 US. And this color is called Berries with an S, IES. And these are all the measurements here, so just in case you need to know how much yarn to get, these are all the measurements here. What I do as well in the description box below is I put the details of how much yarn I use. I tell you the color, I tell you the measurements that I showed you guys here, the size of yarn, all of that. So that's probably a good place to start if you want to know how much yarn I use and things like that. And I do the same for crochet hook. I tell you guys what crochet hook size I use, because sometimes I don't often use the size that's recommended for the yarn. Speaking of crochet hook size, I hope I'm not talking so fast, but speaking of the crochet hook size, I'm using a 5.5 millimeter or I9, which is recommended for this yarn. I have my tape measure here, just for you guys to know that you need to have one if you don't know your size, especially if you're a beginner. I know my size, but I often just have it so you guys are aware you need one if you don't have the size. And then I have my darning needle, I have my stitch marker, as well as a scissors. Okay, so this is everything that we're going to be using for this, except obviously more yarn, which I'll tell you in the description box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. So for this crop top sweater, we're going to do 2 panels first, one for the back, one of the front, and then we're going to do the sleeve panel. So there's going to be 4 pieces altogether that we're going to be joining for our crop top. Okay, so to start one of the panels, the back panel and the front panel are going to be identical in terms of the size, and then obviously the 2 sleeve panels will be identical as well. So I will show you guys how to do the first panel for the back or the front, and then when we have that done, you will complete the second one, and then I will show you how to do the sleeve, and then you'll complete the second one as well. Okay, so I'm gonna start by doing a slip knot so I can do my foundation chain. So slip knot just like that. Okay, and now that I have my slip knot, I'm going to do a chain of 51. So 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so I have my chain of 51 here. Okay, so this is going to be the width of my work. So this is going to be the one of the panels, and it's going to be working up like this, and then you will do the same for the second. Okay, so for this first one, I'm going to show you the first row, and then the second row is a repeat row until you're done. And it's a very simple project. There's a reason why I call my channel Simply Angel Tia, is because I really try to do small but very simple project. That way the beginners can kind of create something that is really nice, but without having to use very intricate stitches. Okay, so for this one, we're just going to be using double crochet stitch all throughout. Okay, well, except for the sleeves where we're gonna do something a little bit different. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna skip this stitch here and this stitch here, and in this third stitch we're going to do a double crochet stitch going in the back of the chain. Okay, so just like this, there you go. And then we're gonna go into the second chain here, and in the back we're going to do our double crochet stitch, and you pretty much repeat this until you get to the end. Okay, so just double crochet stitches all the way to the end, and when you have completed that, come back to the video. So you can pause the video here, come back when you've completed the first row, and I'll show you guys how to do the second row, which is our repeat row. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I've gone ahead and completed my first row here. So as you can see, that is it, and this is the length of the work, the way it looks, and then we're going to be working upwards like this. So for those of you who want to know just how wide it is, because this is going to be the wideness of our crop top, I will show you quickly here what the wideness is. And again, I'm making a small. Okay, so this is about 14.5 inches. Okay, so let me just move this here. so about 14.5 inches. Okay, so if you're making your crop top to be a little bit wider, then you need to have started with more chains than the 51 that we did. And if you wanted it to be a little bit shorter, then you'd have done less stitches at the beginning. Okay, so that's just how I do sizing. Is you can either increase your beginning of the chains to make it larger, or you can decrease to make it smaller. So I'm making a small for me. Okay, so for the second row, which is also a repeat row, we're going to do two chains. So 1, 2, then turn our work. And then in this very first stitch right after your chain 2, you're going to skip that. And in this second one, so as you can see, if I kind of pull my work apart like this goes together like this. And so the next one that I'm going to do is going to go right here to go together with that. And then there's going to be one on top of each of the double crochet stitches from the previous row. So I'm just going to go into that one and do my double crochet. So as you can see, then they go together like that. And then I'm going to move on to the next and do my double crochet stitch there. So we're pretty much working on every stitch. Okay, so we're not skipping any stitches. They just happen to be, each stitch just happened to be on top of the previous double crochet stitch from the previous row. Okay, so then we're just going to do these all the way to the end. When you get to the end, you do another chain 2, turn, repeat this until you have the length. Okay, so for me it's a crop top, so it's not going to be too long. I'm going to do about I'm not sure exactly. Let me get that worked up, and then I'll tell you guys when I come back how many rows I do. But it is a crop top, so you're gonna measure pretty much how long you want it from your torso all the way up to your neckline. So for me, I'm going to be making one that is just right a tiny bit, like just covering my belly button. Okay, so I'm gonna measure it as I go, and as soon as I see that it just barely covers my belly button, then I'm going to stop there. I don't know how many rows that's gonna be. I'll tell you when I come back. Okay, so go ahead and complete this. When you have the size that you're looking for, come back to the video. I'll do the same, and then we will go ahead and get started with the second panel, which you will do offline. So I'm just gonna come and show you how this looks like when it's done. You will do the second one offline, and then I'll show you how to do the sleeve panel, and then you will complete the second panel for the sleeve offline. Okay, so go ahead and work on this, and I will see you guys when you have the size completed. See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed this panel of the crop top. So as you guys can see, this is pretty much how it looks like. And I ended up doing 24 rows altogether. Okay, and this is going to be for my size again. Like I said, it's a small, but everybody has different sizes. You could be a small, but you were a little bit larger than this, or you could be a small, but you were a little bit looser or tight than this. So it's all up to you. So it's important for you to see and measure how you want your top to fit, and that's how you're going to be working on it. Okay, but this is pretty much mine here. So 24 rows, and that's completed. One of the panels is down, so we're gonna go ahead and duplicate and do a second panel like this, and then we will do the sleeve. So go ahead and duplicate this, but for now I'm gonna show you guys how to do the sleeve, and then you can work on the entire project offline, and then we come back when we have all 4 parts of the sweater completed. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on the sleeve, and then we'll go ahead and move on from there. Okay guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on the sleeve, one of the sleeves, and we're just going to start by doing a chain, well, slip knot first to create your foundation for the chain, and then we're going to do a chain of 61. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay guys, so I have completed my chain of 61 here. Okay, so this is for the sleeve, is a little bit longer by 10 from the body panel that we did. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring my stitch marker here because we're gonna need it. And what I'm gonna do here is these 2 stitches again, like we did previously, I'm gonna skip, and in the third one here I'm going to do my double crochet in the back of that chain. Okay, so third chain from the hook, and then I'm going to repeat that by doing the same thing in each and every stitch all the way to until I have 10 stitches left. Okay, so the little bit of the difference that we're going to be doing here is that little part that will create our wrist part, You could either just do it in the same stitch all throughout, and you're just gonna have like a sleeve that just kind of falls loose here. But because I want my I want this part of the sweater to be a little bit snatched in, I'm going to do a smaller stitch there. So go ahead and do this until you have 10 stitches to go, and you can go ahead and just count them now and mark it up with the stitch marker. But I'm just gonna continue to work on this until I have 10, and then I'll come back and show you guys how to do those final 10 stitches. And then we're gonna pretty much do the second row, which is going to be our repeat row until we have the length that we want for our sleeve. Not the length, this is the length here, but the width of it, so how it's gonna fit like this. Okay, all right, so work on that, and I'll see you guys when you have 10 stitches to go. Okay guys, so I have worked my double crochet stitches here in the back of the foundation chain, and that's how my work looks like. And I have 10 stitches to go, which I did mark it with a stitch marker, so I'm going to remove that for now. And for these remaining 10 stitches, I'm going to work half double crochet, continuing to do that in the back of the stitch. And we're going to do that for these 10 stitches, and then when we get to the end, we're going to repeat these 10 stitches in the half double crochet, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the rest of the stitches in double crochet stitch. Okay, so work this to the end and then come back when you have reached the end of this row. Okay, so I have done the half double crochet stitches for the 10 stitches here, the 10 stitches that were left. So I'm just going to place this back where it goes, and this is for your sake. I'm okay to just kind of know where I need to start switching the stitches, but for you, if you don't want to have to count, make sure you have a stitch marker that you're replacing every time that you work over it. Okay, on that stitch you replace it. But that's pretty much how it looks like. As you guys can see, it's a little bit slimmer here, and it gets a little bit bigger and wider on this side. And that's the point, because we want the part here to be a little bit tight. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and chain one on this side, and then we're gonna turn our work and then work the half double crochet stitches for the next 10 stitches again, just like we did. And again, you're going through both loops. You're not going in the back loop only or the front loop only. You're going through both loops to do your half double crochet, and then you're going to do that for the 10 stitches. And then we're going to switch our stitches and go to doing the remaining of the row in the double crochet stitch. Okay, so this is going to be the repeat of this. So what I'm showing you here is what you will be repeating until you get to the end. As you can see, I have 9 stitches there. I'm going to remove my stitch marker and do my 10th half double crochet in that stitch. Okay, just that stitch here is my 10th stitch. And then I'm going to take my stitch marker, replace it back there. And then for the remaining of the stitches here, I'm just going to do double crochet stitches. Okay, and then when you get to the other end, this end here, you're going to do your very final stitch right here for the double crochet stitch, chain 2, turn your work, and then do your first double crochet on this stitch right here. Okay, and then you do your double crochet stitches all the way until you get back to where your stitch marker is. And when you get to your stitch marker, you're going to remove the stitch marker, do your half double crochet in that stitch and the remaining of the stitches. And then when you get to this side, you chain 1, repeat the half double crochet stitches. So I'm just trying to make you guys understand this. On this side where we're doing half double crochet stitches, you're going to chain 1 and then turn and work your 10 stitches. And on this side, you're going to chain 2 and then work your double crochet stitches. Okay, so that is the difference here. So you're going to do this until you have the size that you're looking for that's going to cover your arm. For me, I don't know how many yet. So just like we did the panel of the body, I'm going to complete that, and when I have the size that I'm looking for, I'm going to come back and show you guys how that looks like. And then we can go ahead and do the second panel for the body and then the second panel for the sleeve. And by the time we come back, we will have everything completed. Okay, but let me go ahead and work this guy here, and I'll come back and show you guys how it looks like. See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my first panel here for this sleeve. So as you guys can see, this is where we worked our 10 half double crochet stitches, and the remaining of it is where we worked our 10 double crochets, the remaining the double crochet stitches. So as you guys can see, this is pretty much how your sleeve will look like, and when we fold it to actually put it all together, this is how it's gonna be. This is where your wrist is, and then this is part of the one that goes and attaches to the sweater and become part of the sweater. Okay, so this is done here. I have 24 rows that I did. However many rows that you did, it's gonna be, because this here is gonna fit your arm. So what I do is I measure this long side here, and that's gonna be the side that fits my biggest part of my arm. The rest of it is just gonna fit as is, because if you measure on this side, then you will never get the right side of the arm, because our arm is slimmer and then it gets bigger as it goes up your body. Okay, so then if you want to kind of do some measurement on this, okay, if I want to measure this side here, and again, it's a little bit of a buggy, a little bit of a looser crop top. So if I measure this side, is about 13 inches. Okay, and then the length of it, if I measure the length of it, then it's about 19 and a half, almost to, yeah, about 19 and a half inches. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and duplicate this, get a second one that is exactly the same as this in terms of the size, the number of stitches, everything, and then go ahead and do the body. Remember, we did the body. This is the body of the crop top here. Duplicate the second one like this as well, and so you will have two that are identical like this, and then you have another two that will be identical to this. And when you have those four done, come back to the video, and then we'll go ahead and join our panels together. Okay, so see you guys when you have everything done. Okay guys, so I have gone ahead and completed my panels here. So as you can see, I have two pieces that are identical in size for these two here, which is the back and the front panel. Okay, so that is all done. And then as well, I have my sleeves panels completed. So this is one here. Okay, and then this is the second one that I completed as well. Okay, so that's how these other two go. So they will obviously fold like this and be joined to the back and the front panels, or to the body of the crop top. Okay, and so with the second one. So this is pretty much, these are all the pieces we need for this project. So let me go lay everything on a flat surface on my bed, so you can see how I'm going to join it. I'm going to put some stitch markers where I need to join it, and then we will go ahead and do the joining, and then it will pretty much be the end of this project. Okay, so let me go lay everything on the bed for you. Okay guys, so this is the assembly of the crop top sweater on the bed. So as you can see, we have our sleeves here, and then we have the body here. So we have our two panels together here. Now I just took a stitch marker and I counted 10 stitches in here to here, and then the same thing on this other side, and that is where I'm gonna close it up. So this is gonna be closed here, and then we're going to join our sleeve right there, and then we're going to join this bottom section right here, and then of course shut the sleeve all the way to the end, and then we're going to do the same on this side. Okay, so this is going to be the opening of our neckline right here. Okay, so again, measure to see, make sure it's gonna fit your neckline. You can choose to do it loose so that it's not too tight on the neckline, or you could do it a little bit, kind of move the stitch markers a little bit inwards to create a little bit of a tighter neckline. But this is how I want mine right here. So it's about 30, because this, we had 50 stitches here, so this is about 30 stitches that I'm leaving for the open of the neck there. Okay, so go ahead and join your sweater. When you have completed joining everything together, then come back to the video and we'll pretty much review the finished product. Okay, so see you guys in a bit. Okay everyone, so I've gone ahead and completed putting together my panels for this crop top sweater, and as you guys can see here, everything is pretty much done. It's very simple, just the 4 panels that we had to join, and that's pretty much how it looks like. So yeah, hopefully you guys have done it to this point as well, and yours is good and ready to be worn. So I'm gonna put these on, and as you guys see in the pictures, this is how it looks like on. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed making this project with me. Thank you so much for watching the video to the end, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so, and make sure you hit the notification bell, as well as like the video. And as usual, I will see you guys in my next one. Kwaheri.